You're watching the NIT. Coming up next from Peoria, Illinois, it's the quarterfinal round. Chattanooga makes the trip to visit Bradley as Kaboom and the Braves hope to solidify a spot in the NIT semifinals. Both teams pulling off upsets in the second round. Chattanooga upsetting top-seeded Dayton. Meanwhile, George Mason falling to Bradley as the Braves pull off the win on the road to advance to the quarterfinals. Hello, everybody. Derek Jones and Perry Clark. So excited to bring you tonight the NIT quarterfinals here at Bradley. And when you take a look at this matchup, it's a wonderful setting, a wonderful matchup with high stakes.
A great venue. Everybody here is really excited. Both of these two teams want nothing more than get to the finals.
Now, we were there Saturday for Chattanooga and Dayton. The explosive backcourt of the Mocs, a major storyline.
Without question. These two guys play so well together, they can finish each other's sentences. Huff does a great job of catching and shooting the basketball. He also can drive the ball hard to the basket, but where he's really special is in transition and pulling up for the three.
And of course, Trey Bonham, another big portion of that.
Well, I tell you what, Bonham does a great job of playing off of Huff. He also can stretch the defense with the three. He also drives the ball hard, but where he's really good is when you need a clutch basket, he can pull up in transition and give it to you.
Chattanooga's electrifying duo combined for 51 points, including 8 three-pointers in the win over top-seeded Dayton. Speaking of threes for the Braves, Duke Dean can light it up from deep.
Well, small things, great things come in small packages. Dean, although he's 5'8", when he elevates for a jump shot, he's like he's 6'5". He's got great range, he stretches the defense, and he's so vital for Bradley in their balance and their great three-point shooting.
The head coach of the Bradley Braves is Brian Wardle. 281 career wins in 15 seasons as head coach, and he's trying to get his team into the semifinal round at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And of course, on the other side, for the Mocs of Chattanooga, it will be Dan Earl, who is a part of one of the hottest teams in the country right now. And this Chattanooga team has been on a roll as of late. Their lone loss in the last month plus was in the SoCon tournament to Furman. As Coach Earl hoping his team can channel some of that same magic that he was able to muster up on Saturday, the SoCon Coach of the Year, and he's done a phenomenal job.
I tell you, two really outstanding coaches. Coach Waddle actually played at Marquette. I coached against them. A great shooter. I guarantee he can outshoot anybody on this team. That's how good a shooter he was, and he's done a great job here at Bradley. And Coach Earl, his Princeton-type offense, he's been able to control the game. He's going to have to do that tonight in this environment against this Bradley team, which is fine defensively in this crowd.
Bonham, Huff, Mulholland, Wayland, and Kiesler, the 5 for the Mocs. They're without Frank Champion, the SoCon newcomer of the year.
You know, losing Champion really hurt in a lot of ways, because when you run the Princeton offense, a lot goes through the center. So he's got to make decisions. He's got to shoot the ball. He's got to drive it, but he also has to make the next pass, the next play. And Champion was so good at that, and they've had to make up for that with other people. Mainly Mr. Mulholland has stepped up and has done a really good job.
Both teams have had to deal with injuries. Mentioned the injury to Frank Champion. This Bradley team also dealing with injuries as well. Birch, Davis, Vandernap, Jonovich, and Dean. They're without Darius Hanna, their star forward, who suffered an injury in the win against George Mason, and that's a big loss.
without question. He went down with some sort of knee injury, and again, he's so versatile in what he does that it really hurts. And to lose Montgomery and Hannah is a setback for this team, which counts on their balanced scoring, which keeps teams off balance and makes their three-point shooting attack so important to how they have success.
It's interesting. Zeke Montgomery and Darius Hannah both did not expect to be a part of the NIT heading in. They both opted out of the NIT because they have eyes on a pro career. They were not going to play. At the last minute, Darius Hannah decided to play, and then unfortunately he ends up suffering the injury, and they'll be without his services here tonight.
I feel very bad for the young man, but I'm really happy when guys want to play and finish the journey that they started way back in August when pre-practice and everything, to take your team as far as you can take them.
What a scene here at Carver Arena. The players exchanging pleasantries not only with each other, but the kids here in attendance. You don't see that a lot around the country.
This crowd is incredible. I remember when I was at Tulane in '96, and we were disappointed we didn't get in the NCAA. We won 2 games on the road, came home with the chance to go to New York, and our crowd was so large and so energetic that it was no way I knew we were going to lose that night. This Bradley crowd reminds me of that because they are really here in force to support their Braves.
Chattanooga trying to reach the NIT semis for the first time in program history. Their furthest advancement before tonight was 1985. Bradley looking to get back to the semifinals and beyond. They won the NIT last time in 1982. And the tip-off controlled by the Braves. Dean swings a pass inside, and that ball is out of bounds over to the Mocs.
And shoot around today, Coach talked about getting the ball inside. Although this Bradley team is a very good three-point shooting team, they really like to go inside.
Mulholland with the look down low for Bash Whelan, who banks it in.
Mr. Whelan, for fans that have not seen him, he's an exciting player. He slashes, he knocks down threes, and plays very well out of the Princeton offense.
Duke Dean countering with the bucket to even out the score at 2 apiece. Whelan coming off of scoring the 1,000th point of his career. Cut to the basket by Huff. Mulholland thought about shooting, will have to drop it off. Garrison Kiesler pops, misses the 3, tipped around, grabbed by Whelan, and he walked.
That's a small sample size of what Whelan does. You saw him on the back cut, you saw him skip the ball, you also saw him get an offensive rebound. He does so many things for Chattanooga. There you see him getting the rebound right there.
Jonovich with the drop off for Christian Davis. Marion Birch with under 10 seconds to operate. Drive to the rim and score.
Nobody gets to the basket better than Birch. I watched film on him. He uses his size, his ball handling skill. He really does a great job of attacking the basket.
Corner jumper by Mulholland misses. Jonovich off the window.
That basket there is definitely created by Dean, by his ability of shooting the basketball. They have to come out and take away his shot opportunities. When the bigs roll, it gives them easy opportunities.
Greenland stripped to the ball, nearly on the floor, harassed, and Kiesler able to keep it alive. Bonham launches with 4 to shoot. Tipped and taken by the Braves. Birch. Dean swings the pass over to Davis, knocks it down.
The transition game of Bradley is deadly. They stretch the floor, they move the ball, it's no ball stoppers. They get really great looks.
An early 7-point lead for the Braves. 9 in a row for Bradley. Huff will fire from deep, misses the three. Jonovich in with the rebound. Dean pulls. Wow, that was a heat check three there from Duke Dean. Kiesler cutting. By the way, we have two of the most prolific three-point shooters in the nation in this game, one on each side. Honor Huff, who has the ball here. And Duke Dean. Huff crossing through the defense. Good ball movement. Kiesler three, missed it. Birch trying to post up, fadeaway Jay, trickles out. Huff gets a step to the rim, got stripped, tried to keep it alive, and it will go back over to the Braves.
Bradley goes deep in his bench right now because they really want to keep the pace. Part of their success is that pace offensively of keeping pressure, and they do that with fresh players.
Both teams shaking it up.
Johnson comes in and plays point guard right now, and they're able to move Dean to like an off guard to free him up for looks.
Daquan Johnson into the game. Dean tries to get a step on Bonham, hops in. The kick for three, that's good. Christian Davis with a three-pointer, his second of the game, and it is 12 straight points for the Bradley Braves, Perry.
Watch right there. Jonovich scores right there, and then they come right back, and Davis knocks down a three, and that's the way Bradley plays.
Former Bradley head coach Joe Stowell was just honored during the break. He was the head coach of the team from 1965 to 1978. And he's been treated to some great action here from the Braves.
Well, he has, because Bradley is doing tonight what they normally do, share the basketball. There you see Davis stepping behind the three, knocking down a jump shot. Then Birch drives the basketball. He does such a great job of attacking. And then on the kick, again, Davis knocks it down. The spacing Bradley uses is so important in how they run their offense.
The three-point shot is a huge part of what Bradley does. 4 players have scored so far for them, and they're 5 of 7 from the field. But the three-point shooting, that's their hallmark this season. They lead the nation in three-point percentage from the field, 39% on the year.
Bradley also is really good defensively. The teams that have played against them have all said, Perry, you know, they shoot the ball well, but they also play really good defense, and they rebound the ball really well.
Off the miss, Bonham with the rebound. Gets it back from Honor Huff, and a block. That is Duke Dean with the block.
I told you, they say he elevates like he's 6'5", and he showed that not on offense, but on defense, coming across. Look at that, straight out of the sky.
4th block of the year, Honor Huff with a three. And that gets the Mocs going offensively, potentially, and that stops 12 straight from the Braves.
And now Chattanooga changed his defense, is going a little zone right now. That's more so to give him they give Bradley a different look, because they were really getting in a rhythm against their man-to-man.
Davis will drive and kick. Atlas in three, that's good.
When a team is that good with driving and kicking, you almost have to stay at home and make them have to finish at the rim.
Sean Cusano inside, trying to go up and under. His floater is good, plus the foul. Nice patience shown by Sean Cusano.
Again, the Mocs like to pass the basketball, but Bradley defensively has been so good. It's put them on individual, and great finish there at the rim by Cusano. You know, this Moccasin team offensively is so efficient in what they do in sharing the basket. Both of these two teams, the sum of their parts are greater than the individuals because they play so well together, and most of their baskets come off of assists.
And this Chattanooga team going through something that they haven't had to deal with a lot on the road, and that's adversity. They've won 9 games in a row on the road this season, which is one off of the most road wins consecutively this season. The current active leader, you may have heard of it, the Houston Cougars. The floater is in from Jaquan Johnson.
Johnson gives you a different look at a point guard. He's more of a dribble drive guy as opposed to looking for the three-point shooting.
Bonham. Now Cusano thought about loading up there, feeds the post from Makai Richards. Richards. And the lefty delivery falls.
I give Chattanooga a lot of credit. They're not hunting threes. So they're just coming down looking to get good shots every time. And that will keep them alive in this game until Bradley starts to cool off a little bit. A lot of teams panic and start throwing up threes and dig a deeper hole. But this Chattanooga team is extremely well coached and extremely patient.
Johnson tried to throw it in the lane to a cutting Corey Thomas. Coughed it up. Good look inside to Cusano, who gets the layup.
You know, we talk a lot about Bonham and his shooting and Huff and his shooting, but these two guys really do a great job of passing the ball and distributing the ball, and they're very, very unselfish.
Thanks for joining us tonight. NIT quarterfinal. The winner goes to the semis in Indianapolis. And the floater is in from Corey Thomas.
Thomas is 6'10". He rebounds the ball real well, and he plays a very important part in inside scoring for this Bradley team to keep their offense balanced.
Huff. And Huff gets some contact that leads to a whistle.
Watch getting inside Cusano right there on the feed. And not to be outdone, they feed the ball into Thomas. You can be a good three-point shooting team, but you have to get inside play, make the defense collapse a little bit to give those shooters some room. Both teams are doing a good job of that early.
Slow start for the Mocs to begin this game. Missed on 5 of 6 from the field, but heating up. Good on 4 of their last 6 as Whalen tries to continue it. Does not get the roll.
I like Chattanooga's shot selection, though. They're not chasing threes, and they're being patient. And those shots, Derek, will start to fall.
Dean inside, losing the basketball. Out of bounds was Jonovich. An 8-point lead for Bradley as we go to a timeout. More in a moment. Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues Thursday on CBS and TBS. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. A busy start to March Madness as always. The Sweet 16 is now set. 7 teams from the SEC. The Razorbacks hopping in after knocking out St. John's. Derek Queen with the buzzer beater to knock off Colorado State. Did you think it was a travel?
No, not at all. I thought it was a good play, a good call, and a big-time play by a big-time freshman.
Meanwhile, the Big East out early. 3 teams in the second round, and all of them out, including the 2-time defending national champion UConn Huskies. 19-11 lead for Bradley as Connor Dillon lost the ball, but the Braves able to retrieve with 1 to shoot. Knocking down the jumper is Demarion Birch. What a recovery by the Braves.
Chattanooga did a really good job of shutting down the inside, took away penetration. That's the thing right now that Chattanooga is not doing is shooting threes. They're really struggling with that right now. They were 1 for 7 before that, so that makes them 1 for 8.
This is a Bradley team that gives up 68 points per game as Juve battling to the rim. He gets it to drop.
Juve uses angles better than anybody on the floor. He puts his body on people, he plays off of angles, and gives them a really good inside game. And again, I give Chattanooga and coaching a lot of credit. They're not chasing the threes since they haven't been making them.
Foul line jumper falls for Birch, so back-to-back buckets for Demarion Birch.
He is I think, is such a vital part to Bradley's attack because he can go inside and outside. He just knocked down a 3. Now he gets in, has a great mid-range game, but that versatility really helps them offensively.
Huff short on the 3, and the foul coming up against Bash Whalen. It's been a slow start for Whalen.
Watch right here. Watch Birch right there. I said it was a 3, it was a 2, but it was a tough 2. And they don't practice those. That's like a horse shot. But his versatility offensively and his ability one-on-one to create scoring opportunities has really helped this Bradley team. You know, this Bradley team had like 8 guys coming back, and a lot of people thought that this was their year in the Valley. If it wasn't for Drake and Mr. Sturt and that emergence, this Bradley team was really lined up to have a great year.
No question, very good season for Bradley. They just kept running their head into the wall against Drake, as many teams in the MVC did, as a blocking foul will be picked up against Birch as Huff tried to make his way down the floor.
You know, a good drive there. It looks like a foul right there with the body, but it was passed on, and these officials have been consistent in letting them play. And all coaches ever want is consistency, and they've been letting them play at both ends. They've been letting guys defensively challenge at the rim. It's been a really well-officiated game.
10-point lead thus far. Oh, right on cue. For the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Oh, beautiful play inside. And again, Chattanooga running their stuff, and I can't give them credit that the threes aren't going, so what are they doing? They're running great plays to get good twos and be able to keep scoring every possession.
A couple of buckets from Latif Juve. The 3 missed by Dean Bonham, who has been a rebounding monster as of late, gets the board. Whelan pops, can't score. Juve tips it out of bounds. Back over to Bradley.
Whelan is the guy that's been on kind of a heater, and he's not scoring right now. They need him to step up. He's had a couple good looks, and he does such a great job in the paint area, being able to score, especially over bigger people.
He had 31 in the opening round contest against Middle Tennessee that went to triple overtime. Johnson hangs in the air and gets fouled and go to the line for a pair of free throws.
Again, Johnson gives you such a quality, you don't want to say backup because that makes him, you know, that takes away from what he does, but a guy that comes in off the bench and can play the point for you. And you see his size, he knows how to play physically, gets in the lane, he leans his body on people, he's able to score. And he takes a lot of the pressure off of Dean.
Colin Mulholland back into the game for the Mocs. Johnson delivers again at the line. The lead back to 10 for the Braves. Bonham. Mulholland trying to find something to do. Distributes to Whelan. 8 seconds to shoot for Costal. Costal with 5 to shoot. Costal throws it up and in.
But I tell you what, a lot of tough twos for Chattanooga. That was a tough two right there, especially for a team that likes to score off the pass, not the dribble.
Davis exploits the coverage for a layup.
Davis can do a little bit of everything. He can knock down threes, but if you close out on him too fast, he'll blow by you. And that's part of the success of this Bradley team.
Coming off of a season-high 21 in the win over George Mason on Saturday. Mulholland almost lost it. Now on the floor, tied up with Johnson. A jump ball. It works in favor of the Mocs, and Mulholland is shaken up.
Watch Costal right there going one-on-one and being able to finish, and then you come right back with Davis right there showing what he does on the slice to the basket.
The Bradley Braves have a rich history in the NIT. 4 times their program has been able to win the NIT in 1957, defeating then Memphis State 84-83. In 1960, knocking off Providence 88-72. In 1964, defeating New Mexico by 32. And then in 1982, with a 67-58 win over the Purdue Boilermakers. And you look up in the rafters, a lot of history in this building here at Carver Arena.
Without question, I mean, basketball used to run through Peoria, both in high school, because the high school tournament was here, and every great player out of the state of Illinois wound up playing here. And then with Bradley and their success and what they were doing with some of the great names, Hershey Hawkins, Chet Walker, I mean, just some tremendous players have played here.
The struggles continue for the Mocs from downtown. They are now 1 of 10 from 3 in this game. And there will be a foul called here against the Mocs, dealing with Duke Dean.
You talk about great players and great careers. Those 2 guys have had great ones. Hershey Hawkins, great scorer, led Bradley here. And the great Chet Walker, 2-time All-American, NBA champion, really special players.
Hawkins went on to play with Charles Barkley with the 76ers. Also spent time with the Sonics as well.
A great one-on-one player.
Jaquan Johnson at the line, able to get the first. Here, our women's Sweet 16 matchups for Friday on ESPN and the app. North Carolina and Duke tip off the day at 2:30 Eastern. Then Maryland takes on the #1 seed South Carolina, followed by LSU, squaring off against NC State at 7:30. And the night is capped off by Ole Miss and another number 1 seed UCLA. Of course, the news of Juju Watkins of LSU, or excuse me, of USC, tearing her ACL.
That's so sad.
Hovering,
It really is.
hovering over the tournament at the moment. Wishing her a speedy recovery. Jonovich rolling to the rim and scoring.
Both of these 2 teams are doing a really good job of executing their half-court offense. We came on, we talk about the 3-point shooting. With the 3-point shooting, especially for Chattanooga, has dissipated. They've gone more with their set stuff and getting good looks inside.
Bonham scoop layup, falls off the front of the rim. Davis. Johnson attacking the rim, tosses it up, can't get it to drop. Drew Ford. The Mocs looking to run. Whelan runs into a wall of defenders from the Braves. Bonham, the save, and he walks.
The physicality, and I don't mean that in a negative way, of Bradley inside You know, they put bodies in front of you. They don't give you clean shots at the rim. And they're long and they're physical as far as getting in front of you and making you feel their presence.
This is not quite the same offense for Chattanooga that we've seen through the first couple of games in the NIT. Again, another shot attempt by Davis. Deflect out of bounds. It will stay with Bradley as Kiesler heads back in.
Well, I think Thomas and Davis have a lot defensively to create problems for Chattanooga because their size inside, being able to guard the post and the post feeds and the post cuts have really helped Bradley get this lead.
3 to shoot. Davis fires, can't hit. Off to the Mocs. Huff gets a step. Whelan will launch. Can't get it. Tip. Jonovich with a rebound.
Whelan has to be more aggressive. You see him hesitate on that. The way he's played so far in this NIT, whenever he's had a look, he's just been aggressive in taking advantage of it.
And a foul coming up against Garrison Kiesler. And he can't believe it. The winner of this game will advance to the semifinals at Hinkle Fieldhouse, and they will face either Loyola Chicago or Kent State coming up on April 1st. The NIT heading towards the last 4 and the semifinal round, and then, of course, the championship game. It has been an outstanding NIT so far as Bradley looking to make their way to the semis. Johnson missing on the 3. As the Mocs try to cut into this 11-point deficit. Bonham gets a screen, gives it up.
Chattanooga normally is in some sort of offensive flow. What I mean by that is they're getting their shots off of certain action and passes. And right now, Bradley's defense is keeping them off balance, and they're not real sure. That's not a great look of how and where they're getting their shots from. Give Bradley a lot of credit defensively for how they're playing.
Everything just feels congested. And a foul as Connor Dillon was making his way towards the rim. It just feels like everything's congested for Chattanooga's offense right now.
Well, they've taken away their looks because of how they have been playing the post. They're not, the 5-man is not necessarily having to hedge and help, so the roles are not there. So now the guards are forced to go one-on-one, and Bradley's guards are good enough to stay in front of him.
Dillon with a catch and shoot, but it's an air ball. Huff. The Mocs set up shop offensively.
See, it was a ball screen there, but they got no advantage out of it. And normally off of that action, they get some sort of advantage where either there's an open shot or a roll. So now they're reduced to going one-on-one.
3 to shoot for Huff. He has to pop. Just misses the 3. Postel with the rebound. He snuck in there and took it away. Huff. Right down the middle of the lane. His scoop layup is good.
That's the first time in a half court that Huff has been able to get to the rim.
We talked to Honor Huff and Trey Bonham at shoot-around earlier today. They're not afraid to mix it up down low, but they know how to do it. They're smart about how they operate. Jonovich. Hook shot. Got it.
He is basic in his moves, but he is proficient in his moves. He doesn't give you a whole lot of shimmy and shake, but he backs you down and he goes over that left shoulder.
It wasn't pretty, but ultimately it was good. Braves up 11. Postel will try it. Misses the 3, long miss. Richards got grabbed, no call. Birch weaving his way through the defense for 2.
He is so good attacking the basket.
Huff Into the corner for Leland. It's three, no good. Dean with a rebound. Hostel falls to the floor. Dean all alone. Money. Duke Dean for three. One of the nation's best from behind the arc. Extends the lead to 16, Perry.
Well, watch Huff driving hard to the basket. Good finish right there. But Mr. Burke has the answer for him on the drive. And then when you take away the drive, what happens? Dean steps up and buries the three.
Thank you, gentlemen. Zubin and company on the way at the half. TV loses another.
Well, I tell you what, congratulations to Josh Pastner. I've known him since he was about 10, 12 years old. He was born to coach and will do an outstanding job. He was brilliant in the studio, but he was born to be on the bench. And, you know, he brings so much excitement and enthusiasm. And the same that folks saw him on doing the broadcast in the studio, he'll bring that to the bench.
You looking to hop back on the bench as an assistant, maybe?
Partner, I'm right here with you. I'm okay, but I tell you, Josh's dad started the AAU program in Houston, was one of the best AAU programs in the country before AAU became popular. So Josh used to shag balls and carry the towels and do everything, and you know, it's just in his blood. And you know, having been at Tech, I know what he did there and everything. So I'm just happy for him.
Congratulations to Josh Pastner, the new head coach of UNLV. Dean checked here by Parker Robeson, who's into the game for the first time. Vandernap chucks it up, missed it, tipped, and a foul coming up. This will be against Bradley, as Vandernap unable to come up with it. Inside of 90 seconds left to go. Huff, room for three, missed it.
Chattanooga cannot get a three to go, and that so far, I think, has been the biggest difference in this game.
Huff will try it again. Good this time.
If he can get going, it changes the complexion of this game tremendously.
And a steal by Robeson. And a foul called against Bradley as Robeson comes up with a steal and then draws the foul.
Well, you know, it starts with swinging the basketball. Huff gets a good look. You could tell when we talked to him earlier the confidence that he has. He's not worried about missing shots, and that comes from his coach. He talked about, you know, Coach Earl being the most important person in his life, giving him an opportunity, and him inbound him. And both of these two guys love playing for Coach and play with a lot of confidence, and they're going to need that in the second half.
40 seconds left to go. Half one. Whelan gets to the rack. Contested layup. Missed the mark. Oh, Whelan almost able to get the steal running back down the floor. And a timeout is called by Brian Wardle. Will step out for 30. It's a 13-point lead for the Braves. Coming up at the half, Zubin Mehenti, Seth Greenberg, and Dallin Cupp. And a special guest, the new head coach of UNLV, Josh Pastner.
Don't take it easy on him, guys. Don't take it easy. Ask him the tough questions.
Back here in Peoria, Illinois, Derek Jones and Perry Clark with you. It's the NIT quarterfinal. The winner moves on to the semifinals at Hinkle Fieldhouse, one of the more historic sites in all of college basketball.
Chattanooga gone to a 1-3-1 right now.
And that goes between the hands of Christian Davis, out of bounds. Has to be frustrating for a coach out of a timeout.
You know, but changing defenses creates problems for offenses. nobody made them turn it over. It's just like they saw something different, lost their concentration and turned it over. And that's why coaches wind up changing defense a lot of times after timeouts.
Costal back in. Whelan will get a breather.
Chattanooga's trying to find the hot hand. It's important they get good inside scoring or opportunity, but they need to extend the defense by shooting the ball to create easier opportunity when they turn it over.
Inside to Mulholland, he lost the grip. Huff does not get rid of it in time. That will not count. A wild scramble to close out the first half. They will take a look to confirm it, but Huff did not get rid of that shot.
Watch Huff step aside. It's late. You see the red lights on. Right there. Step aside. 0. He's still holding on the ball.
A frustrating way for the half to end for the Mocs. They trail by 13 when Bradley leads at the half this season. They are 19-0. Zubin and the gang will take it away at halftime in just a moment. More. Stay tuned. Tip of the cap to Junior in the truck for putting that together. It's the NIT and quarterfinal round action. 38-25 lead for the Bradley Braves. Hello, everybody. Derek Jones and Perry Clark with you. And Perry, in that first half, Chattanooga simply did not make shots. Meanwhile, a blistering pace set by Bradley.
Well, they did, and two guys really set the pace for Bradley. Christian Davis did a great job getting him off to a fast start. He's so versatile. He steps away, knocks down jump shots. They find him on kickouts, and also he can hard drive to the basket. And he did a great job also defensively against the bigs of Chattanooga. Birch came in, and he does what he does well. He scores the basketball, whether or not it's difficult shots, whether or not it's his mid-range game, and what he's always good at is attacking the basket, and that did a great job for Bradley.
On the other side, Bash Whelan has not been able to get on track here.
Well, he has. You know, I learned a long time ago being an English teacher is not a sentence if you don't have a verb. And you need something to connect everything. That's what Whelan does for Chattanooga. He connects everything, and right now, he's not scoring the ball the way he's capable, and that's why Chattanooga is struggling.
Going the educational route to tie in basketball. I dig it.
That's the math of high school education, babe.
Jonovich battling Mulholland down low. It'll be a two-shot foul forthcoming for Hamet Jonovich. Some of the standouts in the first half included Christian Davis and Damarian Birch, as we talked about moments ago, each with 8 points, each effective from the field and playing with confidence.
Well, he has. And I tell you, Jokic has done a great job. His physicality in the low post, he makes people collapse. And when you collapse on him, what it does is it gives spacing for the three-point shooting that Bradley has, so they have a good inside-outside game, and they've been playing with that mixture today so far, and they've had success with it.
The man they call Meta comes up empty. Bonham gets to the rim quickly to score for the first time tonight. So Bonham, one of the team's leading scorers, able to get a bucket, and it's an 11-point lead for the Braves.
I expect the guards of Chattanooga to really step it up and push the issue.
And Here's Bonham trying to push now. He has to slow down, though. The winner goes to the semifinals of the NIT as Bonham knocks down the three. And that is the Mocs team we saw through the first 2 rounds. Bonham from deep. Sweet 16 matchups for the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship Tournament, headlining things on Friday on ESPN and the app. North Carolina and Duke tip off the day at 2:30 Eastern. Then Maryland takes on the #1 seed South Carolina, followed by LSU squaring off against NC State at 7:30. And the night is capped off by Ole Miss and another #1 seed UCLA. Of course, the news of Juju Watkins suffering a torn ACL during last night's USC victory to get to the Sweet 16. And Watkins has been so durable throughout the course of the season, had not missed a game this season. South Carolina survives a scare. Haley Van Lith winning the grudge match against her former teammates in Louisville.
Coach Waddle took a quick timeout there. He understands in watching film not to let this Chattanooga team get in the rhythm or get going, and that's what they were doing. That was preventive medicine he was trying to do for his Bradley team.
That pass nearly fired out of bounds, but to the rim with 1 to shoot. The scoop layup missed by Atlason, out of bounds, back to the Braves.
He brings Atlason in because Atlason has more size and is a better defensive player and brings more physicality to this Bradley team.
8-0 run for the Mocs. Davis lobs it inside to Jonovic, way too strong on the layup attempt.
It is amazing how aggression changes the flow of the game. Chattanooga has come out here and has been the more aggressive team, both offensively and defensively, and has got themselves right back in this game.
Bonham misses a 3. Jonovic with the rebound, but Bash Wieland on the floor. That will lead to a whistle against the Braves.
As a coach, I used to tell my team, it's amazing how things go better for you when you play harder. There you see Bash getting pushed right there. But that's the fight that he always brings.
Huff cut off from shooting that 3. Mulholland. Now Wheeling. Shot clock under 5 seconds. Kiesler will have to pull. Misses the 3. Mulholland battling, got it. Puts it up, missed it. Tip back outside. Taken by Atlason.
It's hand-to-hand combat in that low post right now.
Well, you said it earlier. The referees are letting them play, and that sequence exemplifies that. Jonovic goes right over the smaller Bonham. Huff. Outside, the 3 missed by Wheelan. Grab, kept alive. Bonham slips a pass outside. Mulholland wide open, gets the 3.
They worked on that and shoot around, and he was laughing, Mulholland, and said in the game, he missed it, said in the game I'll make it, and he stepped up and he made it. They really do a good job of passing the ball around.
Mulholland's first points of the day as Davis attacks the rim once again and scores.
It seems like whenever Bradley needs the basket, Mr. Davis steps up and gets something going for him, whether or not it's a jump shot or a drive.
Bonham to the cup. Can't get the English on it. And the loose ball off to the Braves. It's already been a different half for the Mocs shooting the 3. They had shot 2 of 15 from 3 in the first half, already with 3 3-pointers here in half 2 as Birch digs into the bag. Huff will pop. Money. Honor Huff.
And he turned to his fans and said, I got this.
Honor Huff One of the most prolific shooters in the nation from three. And a foul on the Davis drive. And
when you talk about scoring, the guards have taken control of this game. There you see Birch one-on-one. Great finish. But Huff comes right back with a three from the corner. The ball game.
The Mocs are no stranger to making runs in the postseason. They made a Sweet 16 run in 1997, defeated Georgia and Illinois, led by Johnny Taylor, who averaged 17 points per game. Chris Mims as well, a double-figure score. And how about this? Wes Moore, a part of that team, guarding God Shamgod there, the future head coach of NC State women's basketball. But how about the run here put together by the Mocs?
I tell you what, right now they're attacking the basketball really hard, going to the basket. The two guards are stepping up, Huff and Bumbar, and they're doing such a great job shooting the basketball. But the aggression that they're showing and the energy that they're showing, they're not looking to pass, they're looking to attack and making Bradley have to step up and have to be able to play him.
Just the vibe feels different from the Mocs here in half two, but still down by 8, almost a turnover there, committed by the Braves. Atlason can't quite get the bounce, and the rebound controlled by the Mocs. Joof patiently waiting for something to open up. Bonham into the teeth of the defense for Kiesler. Three missed. Joof rebound. Huff three. No good. Rattled out. Joof offensive rebound. Another three by Huff. That's good.
That first shot by Huff went as far down without going in as it could. He got it back, and that's when you're best getting your threes on offensive rebounds. And right now, the aggressiveness of Chattanooga is getting them those looks. Every time Huff is shooting the ball, it looks like it's got a chance to go in. He's getting his feet set, he's got his back straight, and he's getting underneath the basketball right now. But, you know, when he talked to us earlier, you could see the care about the team, about the program, about where they are by both Bonham and Huff. They've worked so well together, and they put so much into this.
Jonovich rolling to the rim, missed the shot. Huff, by the way, up to 17 points. He's got 17 of the team's 39. Huff hunting and lost the ball out of bounds. He didn't think he lost it, but the officials say he did.
You know, we talked about that earlier, getting too deep sometimes. And for little guards, they both know where they are and where their partners are and their other teammates are. So very seldom do they turn the ball over in those type of situations.
The fans at Carver Arena trying to stir their team into a rally. And Atlason going to the rim. And instead of a shot, it's a pass and a turnover.
The difference right now in this half has been the three-point shooting. Bradley's not shooting a lot of threes, and Chattanooga is, and that's the swing in the game right now and giving Chap a chance to get back in this.
Is that an overpass there? You think it should just go right up with it? It's easy
well,
to say now.
but normally they've been feeding the big guy, and he's been getting easy shots, so it's been what they normally do. He just wasn't ready for that.
Joof to a cutting Huff, who lays it in.
Both of these teams are so well coached. You know, they execute their stuff, and again, Chattanooga, when the threes weren't falling, they didn't panic. They just ran their stuff.
Kiesler with the steal. Huff speeding ahead. Huff gets swatted by Jonovich into the first row.
That was a big-time block by Jonovich. But Huff told us earlier, he said, I don't mind getting my shot blocked. It happens, I'm going to keep coming.
Yonovich with a rejection to prevent the layup.
Huff said when I first got to Chattanooga, I would drive and they would beat my stuff up all over, and I had to learn to make some adjustments, and he has learned.
They are cleaning up a wet spot on the floor, and they're trying to adjust that at the moment. A reminder that for the 5th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
You know, competitive spirit drives great plays. And these kids want to win. They want to move on. And so they push themselves both offensively and defensively to come up and make plays, make shots. And that's what makes this time of the year so special.
Chattanooga has not led since it was 2-0. Bradley led by as much as 16 in the first half.
You know, when I coach, I used to tell my sister, you have to make a decision. Is my job tonight to coach or to motivate? If we're playing and we're ready to play, then my job is just to coach and help guide them through. If we're not playing and hitting on all cylinders and not giving effort, now I have to motivate. It's hard to do both, but you have to figure out what you need to do that night. And sometimes a little bit of both, but it's hard, but you got to pick and choose. And with these two teams right now, the job of the coaches is to coach, because both of these two teams are highly motivated and they're giving it everything that they have. So you got to give them the right calls. You got to dissect the defense, come up with the right offense, and both of these two coaches do a great job.
The officiating crew tonight, they are doing some extra work. Tyler Kumpf, Jason Baker, and Irvin Wilson calling fouls and doing tidy work as well. A performance bonus, perhaps, in store for them. Huff. All about popping, instead distributes to Bonham. Drew. Finds Whalen, can't bank it in.
He cannot find the basket, and those are shots he normally makes.
Whalen with just 2 points tonight, as Dean is left all alone and gets the bounce and the bucket.
You can't run off of him.
The lead is at 5 for the Braves. Juke. Huff pops, can't hit the 3. Outside to Johnson. Johnson does not have the advantage, but he gets the layup.
Is he quick or what? You see that change up right there? Change of pace. Easy to get to the rim. Great finish.
Whalen hits the deck, and that draws a whistle. That'll be against Christian Davis.
Watch right here. Moving the basketball. You can't leave him wide open like that. Friendly rim, and he's able to finish. Watch Johnson right there finish at the rim, using his body and putting a little English on it.
Timothy Vandernap back in for Bradley. Ball to a cutting Huff. Huff, easy access.
They raised the floor that time. They hit the post, and he went back cut, and there was nobody there underneath to protect the rim.
Huff has the last 9 points for the Mocs. Tipped, taken by Bonham. Ball deflected. The Mocs able to control. Bonham waves off the screen. And then draws a foul against Vandernap. A veteran move that will lead to 3 free throws.
You want to know how you get back? You get your guards going. There you see a great finish right there. He's got 10 in the second half. Great finish by Huff. March brings the very best out of you. And Honor Huff is showing up for March right now. There you see him driving to the basket. There you see him stepping back and knocking down the three. You don't give him space. He's trying to get his team back in this game, and he's doing it. Watch this back cut. Tremendous finish at the rim. His leadership, his energy has got Chattanooga right back in this ball game.
He has been great yet again. Huff with 20 points for the 10th time this season. And it's been that combo through the last 2 games now, Huff and Bonham, that has been able to deliver tonight. And, of course, the game on Saturday against Dayton. The rest of the team has labored a little bit offensively.
Yeah, the thing in talking to him earlier, he's just so appreciative of the opportunity. The opportunity that he has here in Chattanooga, coming from VMI. And we said which was a little tough, a little different, and everything, but these 2 guys have really put their heart and soul into this program. Coach is working the officials and said they're holding my cutters now. Make sure I get my space.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues Thursday on CBS and TBS. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. How are you with the officials in terms of working them? How did you go about that?
I just talking to them. I mean, they never asked for my advice. And the biggest thing I learned was let us play, you know, and not complain about what the other team was getting advantage of, but just let us play. And you try to fix that with recruiting and going to get guys that wanted to play physical and wanted to rebound and could play.
Kiesler, and that pass too tall for him. He was wide open.
But you don't mind those turnovers. You don't like turnovers. And you see Coach clapping them up right now. You don't mind that, trying to share the basketball.
The lead stays at 2 for the Braves, who all of a sudden have slowed here offensively.
Well, they've not been in transition, and that's where they've gotten a lot of their 3-point shots is in transition.
Birch, the kick, Davis 3, off the mark. The Mocs can take a lead with a 3. Mulholland. Huff getting grabbed, no call, and now there's a call.
Coach wanted to know, how did you miss the guy grabbing the guy's jersey? See,
Jovovich getting contact there.
Yeah, they're attacking him more now. He's done a great job hedging early, which has taken away a lot of their action. Now the adjustment that they're making is whenever he hedges, they're attacking him and making him have to play defense. And that's why right now Bradley's gone a little smaller.
Kiesler spots Huff up top. Bradley led by as much as 16 at one point. As Huff steps into a 3, no good. Controlled by Birch. Dean, who's been a little quiet for some time. Birch will try to light it up, cannot. Tip, back outside, Dean steps in. Three ball up, that's no good. Thomas couldn't get it, but Birch does. Inside to Mulholland. Mulholland and 1 for Colin Mulholland.
Mulholland means so much to this team. Even when he's not scoring, his ability to pass the basketball and not turn it over and get good looks. Now you're getting him involved in the low post. He has the ability to operate at the elbow or the high post or roll to the low post area. and take advantage of those shots down there.
And the man known as Big Maple polishes off the three-point play for the Mocs. It's a one-point game. And a foul as Thomas was just holding the ball, and Costal fouls him.
What has happened to Bradley is, when's the last time they've got open looks? They haven't been able to get in transition. And if it wasn't for Birch being able to attack the basket and kind of creating some things off the dribble drive, they've really struggled offensively here in the second half.
Birch will pull and hit.
He is such a good one-on-one player, and that's what makes this Bradley team really tough to guard. They've got 3 or 4 guys that can hurt you in transition, and then they've got 2 guys in the half court that can go get shots.
Whelan to the cup. A foul.
Goaltending, I think.
Or excuse me, that will send things the other way.
Watch Birch right there. Good one-on-one play. Yeah.
No doubt there, a goaltend to make it a one-point game at 52-51.
And now they come with their three-quarter press. They fall back right now into a 1-3-1.
Dillon, guarded by Costal. Ball deflected by Richards, stolen by Huff. Huff stops, the kick, Kiesler 3, got it, and a lead for the Mocs.
And they're going back into a zone right now.
And a timeout called by the Braves, the first lead for Chattanooga since it was 2-0, and the 16-point lead for Bradley has been erased.
I tell you, Chattanooga was down 16 points, and the way that they've been able to come back is their patience offensively, sharing the basketball, not chasing threes, but chasing good looks as Kiesler right there steps up and buries the 3 and giving them a lead.
Kiesler did not score in the game on Saturday against Dayton. He certainly got his hands dirty in the game for sure, but a big shot here to give the Mocs a 2-point lead. Just a second lead change in the game. Jonovich and a steal.
That short roll is not there against the zone. Twice Chattanooga's come up with steals with Bradley trying to make that pass.
Richards. Whelan gets the jumper, and finally he sees something drop.
If he gets going, it puts a whole new light on this ball game. But again, the zone has created problems for Bradley.
Largest lead of the game for Chattanooga.
Derek, you would think, as one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, that the zone is the last thing you want to play against them. But so far, it's been very effective in taking them away from a lot of their free looks.
Dillon with 2 to shoot. He'll have to heave it and banks it in. What a shot by Connor Dillon.
He called bank, though.
Two-point game again. Just over 7 minutes left. Whelan. Costal back outside for Whelan. 3 to shoot for Whelan. Foul line, Jay. Up, no good. Grabbed by Jonovich. And Jonovich, it's foul. And he is not pleased.
There you see right there. You think he's stuck? You think he's stuck? No! He kicks it off the glass. and gets the three.
A one-point game as they took a look at this shot by Connor Dillon to beat the clock. And, Coach, that's a three.
That's a three. And watch, the biggest thing Dillon did was keep his head up. A lot of times guys lower their head, trying not to get fouled, but he kept his head up, found the target, and was able to knock down the jump shot.
The winner of this game will reach the NIT semifinals and face either Loyola Chicago or Kent State in one of the semifinals on April 1st. And immediately following this game will be North Texas against Oklahoma State. Mike Corey and Fran Fischilla.
That's going to be a heck of a game. You know, those two guys do a heck of a job calling it, especially Fran. I mean, but that's going to be a really good game. North Texas is really good, and Oklahoma's playing extremely well right now.
So after the reviews, and they did double check to confirm the goaltending from earlier, that worked in favor of the Mocs, so it's a one-point game. Catch and shoot by Dean, falls.
Great adjustment that time. What they did against the zone, they flashed the shooter to the middle so that he could either get a shot or make a play, and they were able to get the lead back. Great call by Coach.
Dean is up to 9. Whalen looking for help. Huff. Now Costal to the post for Richards. Richards back outside, Costal three, no good, out of bounds, back over to the Braves.
Great adjustment by Coach Wallow that time. They had turned the ball over a couple times trying to feed it to the post guy on the short roll at the high post. Well, they got him out of it, and they flashed the score there, and he was able to make a play.
We mentioned the North Texas-Oklahoma State game. In the other part of the bracket, it will be North Texas-Oklahoma State coming up at 9 Eastern after us. The winner of that game will face either UC Irvine or UAB in the other semifinal of the NIT on April 1st. Johnson swings a pass to a wide open Davis. He can't collect.
That's the first open look Davis has missed today.
He could have had a cup of coffee. He was that wide open. Ball deflected away from Honor Huff. It'll stick with the Mocs. I asked Honor Huff what his range was from three earlier today, and he said, when I walk in the gym.
And he was dead serious.
Yeah, he was not laughing. A whistle as Whelan has to pick himself up off the floor. This will go against the Braves.
You know, both of these coaches are making real-time adjustments, and their players are recognizing and picking it up.
Corner three is in from Trey Bonham. So Bonham gives the lead right back to the Mocs. The Braves are one foul away from putting the Mocs into the bonus. A three missed by Dean, the carom to Bonham. Mocs up by 2. Juice distributes. Bonham lines up with 3, missed it. Tipped around, taken by Atlason.
But Bradley is not pushing the ball like they were earlier and getting looks out of the transition, which makes Chattanooga happy defensively.
Dean can't get the 3 to fall. Juf with a rebound. The Mocs trying to reach the NIT semifinal for the first time in program history. Huff, the kick to Bonham, no good. Davis grabbing the loose change for Bradley.
Davis has been quiet here in the second half. He had a really big first half, and he's been quiet so far.
Bradley has missed on 7 of 8 3-point tries in the second half. Johnson falling to the floor, able to keep it alive. Atlason along the baseline and a foul. Atlason will go to the line for a pair.
We talked about the guards, and Bonham has not let us down. There you see him step into the corner, knocking down a three to give the Mocs the lead.
Seth and Zubin here in the studio. Oklahoma State, North Texas next. Could be the final game in the career of Bryce Thompson, coach.
The 6'7" wing can shoot the three, also get in the lane, draw contact. A tough matchup.
No doubt started his career at KU. Meanwhile, Atten Wright, a name that not a lot of people talked about in the league, but one of the best.
Atten Wright is a bucket, shoots almost 40 from the three-point line. They play through him, especially late clock, late game.
This game was supposed to be played in Denton, Texas, because North Texas is the higher seed. Scheduling conflict means they're going to tip in Stillwater. Derek?
Thank you, Zubin. North Texas and Oklahoma State to follow us. UC Irvine or UAB will get the winner of that game. But right now, the guard play in this game is standing out yet again for the Mocs.
Without question, their decision-making, their scoring, Bonham and Huff have carried this team. And the most amazing thing, Chattanooga only has 5 turnovers. So not only are they scoring and getting other people involved, as you see, they're scoring at the basket, running and executing their plays, but they're not turning it over. And coaches are really happy with that, to have that type of quality guards.
These numbers are just crazy. 47 points in the last 2 games, 10 of 23 from 3. Heading into the game tonight, he had the 4th most threes in the nation. This season total, 119. He's added to that tonight with 5 more made threes, up to 124. The most Abdi Bashir of Monmouth at 127. Tie game at 59 after Atlason cashes in from the line.
They're going zone. Look for Mulholland in the middle of the floor right now to try to make a play.
Kiesler on the drive, pump fake, got blocked, down low. Good hustle defensively by Christian Davis as he comes up with a stop.
Davis has done a great job all day handling the 5-man in the high post action of Chattanooga. He's done, and they haven't gotten much out of that, and he stepped up and he did a great job that time.
1 timeout left for Bradley, 2 timeouts left for the Mocs.
Look for a high ball screen and try to get a dribble drive or kick and a kick for a 3.
Davis. Now Birch trying to get by Mulholland. Slips it inside to Johnson, who lays it in, plus the foul.
Birch is so tough off the dribble. It's been consistent all day. When he's gotten the ball, he's attacked the rim, and Chattanooga has not found a way to stay in front of him. You see him driving the ball there, but what's so beautiful about it is his unselfishness and giving it up to another teammate to get an easier shot.
Can't sleep on Jaquan Johnson as he misses the free throw. The lead stays at 2. Johnson had a game earlier this year with 27 points. By the way, that was a 4th foul on Trey Bonham. Whalen. And they come up empty. Johnson tries to get a step on Bonham. He's got to be careful with the 4 fouls. Jonovich almost turned it over. It will stay with the Braves.
And this is what Bradley likes to do, going to Jonovich in late clock situations in the low post and getting the defense to collapse on him, as now you see Chattanooga coming in with a sub defensively to put more size against them.
We're heading into the zone where the new NIT experimental rule might come into play as the missed three by Davis leads to a rebound. Coaches can challenge out-of-bounds plays under 2 minutes. Bonham. Now Kiesler. Inside, Whelan found the spot for the bucket.
Great back cut that time by Whelan.
That ends a nearly 3-minute plus scoring drought for the Mocs. Out of bounds and turned over by Birch.
Watch Whelan on this. This is what he does. The back cut, finishing in traffic. He has to show up for the party for the Moccasins to get out of here with a win because he's played so great in traffic. He makes the defense have to collapse, which opens up for the guard and gives them better looks from the perimeter.
One of the big differences in this game, the three-point shooting for Bradley. They were tops in the nation, three-point percentage, 39% per game. And now a timeout will be called by the Mocs and Dan Earl. 39% on the season. Shooting the three, they're just shooting it at a 31% clip tonight.
But that's okay. I talked about it earlier. When they were struggling down 16, Chattanooga did not hunt threes. Give Earl tremendous credit for that because they got good shots, and that's how they got back in the game.
The Mocs or the Braves will move on to the semifinals of the NIT. The semifinal will take place on April 1st. The championship game on April 3rd at 9 Eastern on ESPN.
You know, when you talk about coaching, when you're struggling and your team stays in character, that's culture, that's coaching. And Chattanooga did that early. Coach did a tremendous job of not panicking when the threes didn't go down. They stayed with what they wanted to do, and they got themselves back in this game.
Bonham. Now Mulholland. Approaching a minute left to go in a tie game. Bonham hits the three.
They've been going underneath of the ball screens and to stop the penetration, and that time Bonham made them pay with a three.
Dean, checked by Whelan. One timeout left for the Braves. Dean fires, got it! What a shot by Duke Dean!
What a shot that was.
And the Mocs will use their final timeout.
What happened on both plays, going underneath the screen when you have two prolific shooters like we have. There you see the ball screen going underneath, knocking it down for the three, and then Dean comes right back with the fadeaway three to tie the game up.
No timeouts left for the Mocs. One timeout left for Bradley. Both teams in a bonus situation. And Coach, the madness is in the building here tonight. It's been going on throughout the NCAA tournament and the NIT as well. Derek Queen for Maryland, Jaden Dawson for Loyola Chicago to knock off San Francisco in a second-round NIT game. Then North Texas getting the bucket by Jasper Floyd. And the karma has arrived here to the building.
Well, it has. You know, executing late-game situations, time and score is very important.
Zubin Maheny, what do you have?
Back to you guys in a second. For those of you looking for North Texas and Oklahoma State from Gallagher-Iba, they're ready to go in under 1 minute. It's going to tip off on ESPN News. And when your instant classic is done out there, it'll be here on ESPN too.
Thanks, Zubin.
Derek, look for right now some sort of action with a ball screen, a roll, and where they can raise somebody from the weak side. They call it bulldog action. So where you can either get the roll or you got a shooter rising up for a jump shot.
Huff looking for assistance. Outside, bottom three, money! Trey Bonham!
They play so well off of each other.
And the Braves will call their final timeout with 11.2 seconds left. Trey Bonham does it for the Mocs.
So well executed. They knew what was going to happen. Huff gets downhill. They come to help to try to stop the penetration. And you got a guy on the weak side with that action, which is Bonham, and he knocks it down. You can't leave the guy in the corner. You have to get the rotation from somebody in the post area at the rim, but you got to stay at home with the shooter in the corner.
Bonham, who played with Honor Huff at VMI, transferred to Florida, decided to join his former teammate and his former coach at Chattanooga, has his team on the doorstep of reaching the NIT semifinals.
You know, but the affection that they have and respect that they have for each other. They talked about how they would not have made it individually if it wasn't for the other one. And to see that genuine commitment and love, and that's what athletics does, that's what basketball does. It brings people together, and those are just two very special kids no matter what happened, and they've had a great run at Chattanooga. They've got a lot to be proud of. Now, right now, the way Bradley shoots the three, I think I would foul and not give them a chance to get a three, because they have made some tough shots. I've watched film on them, and they've got 2 or 3 guys that can make tough shots. I think I would foul and put them on the foul line.
That's often the discussion that comes up in this situation. 11.2 left, no timeouts left either way. Bonus each way. Davis will toss in. Finds Dean. 8 seconds left. Dean sizing things up, and he is fouled by Bash Whelan with 4.8 seconds left.
Smart.
It will be a 1-and-1.
Smart, especially 1-and-1 smart. Now you got to block out. You got to put your best guy, your strongest guy, and that's where they're coming in. They're coming in with size. You got to block out, because they're going to come over your back. They're going to push.
Dan Earl shuffling things around. Mekhi Richards in, Joof in as well. So he's got some bigs out there on the floor to join Huff, Bonham, and Kiesler.
And he's saying if you get stuck throughout the length of the court.
First is in from Dean. A tense feeling in the building as Dean misses the free throw on purpose, and the loose ball to the Mocs with 2.7 seconds left to go. What do you think there, Coach?
I think that was the play. I think that, you know, he had to miss, tried to get the offensive rebound. You know, they had a great job with Davis inside rebounding the basketball. They had a shot. Now you foul. Now you extend the game.
Joof at the line. A 63% shooter on the year from the charity stripe. This has not been an active night from the line for the Mocs.
What you don't want to do if you're Chattanooga is that anybody catch the ball going towards their basket.
Joof misses the free throw, taken by Davis. 1 second left. Dean heaves. It is no good. It is destination Indianapolis for Chattanooga. The Mocs defeat the the Bradley Braves 67-65, and it is on to Hinkle Fieldhouse for the Mocs. What a game it was from Peoria, Illinois. For our entire crew and Perry Clark, I'm Derek Jones saying so long. It's on to North Texas and Oklahoma State. Mike Corey and Fran Fraschilla.